Hello and welcome to Stage 2 of the Formula 1 Italian Grand Prix. In this one, we've got another average speed requirement, which are kind of a lot of fun at Monza because you get to keep so much speed. And again, if you're having any trouble with these, you could take some off-track cuts. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be working on keeping this car on track. I also want to be learning the braking points, although they're going to keep changing as we keep adding more tuning. I notice already that I'm braking deeper than I would be in the 2019 cars. However, most of my driving in the 2019 cars has been with them fully upgraded. Because back then we were still using the term upgrades, because in the 2019 cars there were drivers, but you couldn't level them up, and there were no principals. So you just had to do a bunch of $M upgrades, and once you were maxed out, you could run the Invitational Series, and I still do that quite a bit for my daily M earnings. Now again, I love doing the drafting, and don't forget to get a push. And lots of time on this stage, not much of an issue. Watch some of these sections here. They tend to break a little bit right there, which I always found interesting, that they break after the exit of the corner. Just kind of strange. Well, actually, they're braking before. They're just so slow. There's no reason to be braking at that last corner at all. So, oh well, just kind of throws you off. There's a distance marker on the left. That's what I'm using as my reference point. Braking just a little bit after it right now, about a car length after that. And that's still, I could be braking even later, and again, that wasn't off track. It's a little bit dangerous in real racing, but in this game, Real Racing 3, you just have to have one tire on track. And I'm sure at some point we're going to get stages where you need to stay on track, and then you'll see even more. Like that would have been a penalty what I just did, but you'll get to see that where the track limits really are for this particular track in this particular game. Again, as you can see, at this point, having 1 minute 13 left is piles of time at this track, and average speed is no trouble at all. The only PR increase I have at this point is the PR of driver level 3, principal level 9. So that certainly did give me a boost. However, I'm pretty sure at some point today I'll have to do some type of tuning. And into Parabolica. Ooh boy, that was pushing it. I kind of had to chase the car way up there. Not a lot of loss of speed. Again, you can drive up there if you want to. There's really no reason for it, but it's actually the drive out from the original Monza circuit, which had the super high bank. It's kind of funny that it's included in this game, but that's where that road will take you if you follow it. You might not know that. Maybe I'll show you that at some point. You can actually see they actually included the high banking dirt that was part of the original Monza circuit. So kind of true to history, pretty cool. All right, another drafting stage, and again, the units here, it'll be surprising, but I'll get to that a little bit later. This one, let's see, average speed and drafting. Okay, there's some traffic. Now, I wanted to try to get way up to the lead before I started doing my drafting. I didn't want to waste time on any of these other guys. There's two requirements for this race. So there's the one is the average speed requirement, and the other one is the drafting requirement. So I'm just drafting here so I can get a bit of a tow and overtake him. But I wanted to catch up to first place and draft off of him. Mind you, I don't really know who first place is because they're not telling me what position I'm in. Well, I'll keep going till I get near to one of the later guys, or until I start to get bored of this. But this is my first time driving a 2020 car on Monza, well, this particular event, so I also am just trying to utilize some of the time to get a feel for this car, because these cars do handle the corners a little bit differently than the 2019 cars that I'm used to. And there you go, there's another one of those crazy cuts you can take if you want to shave some time and keep some minimum speed up. No, I'm not going to be doing very much of that, but I'm showing you what is possible. You won't be able to do that if you've got steering assist on, and yeah, that's not going to do you much good if you've got brake assist or traction control on. You just can't do those kind of things. But it's one of the craziest cuts in the game. When you do that in a Koenigsegg, holy smokes, like the Koenigsegg Agera RS, you can do that at over 400 kilometers an hour, and it is pretty crazy. Sometimes it doesn't go right. Oop, I went off track there. That's why the back end went flying around, because I was off track. Don't want to do that too much. Okay, well, it's time for me to draft off this guy. He looks like he has some speed. So we'll get our drafting in here. Yep, that's not going to be bad. Get a nice toe from him. Still have another lap to go after this. Boy, that drafting adds up awful quickly. Huh. Oh, well, look at that. Okay, scrap what I just did. You should draft off the very first guy, and then as soon as you meet the minimum speed requirement, I guess it'll just end. Or make sure you're at the minimum average speed as you're finishing your drafting. Okay, well, that stage was easier than I thought. Oh well. So for this event, you have to finish in at least 3rd place, and you can't allow someone, or cumulatively, you can't allow people to draft off you for more than 3 seconds. Now that's not very difficult. If you know where the bots drive, just don't drive there. So stay out of their path, and they won't be able to draft off you. I was going to try to see if I could do, like, when no one drafted off me at all. And I actually gave that a few attempts, and I thought, what am I doing? This is an early stage. Let's not get so crazy here. So, anyways, if you know where they drive, like for this part, they're going to go low, and then they're going to start to go to the left. I don't really know why they do that there, and then they drive kind of in the middle, and that's a weird thing. So I gave him a little bit of my draft. Here, if I stay really low, he's not going to be able to get a toe, but it's pretty hard to avoid that at all in this section, especially with all these bots. So I gave him a 10th. Him, I'm not too worried about if he gets a little bit, but go to the far right, and it won't matter. And then once I get about 35 plus ahead of him, then he can't get a draft off me. This is a very important part of racing, you know, not allowing people to draft off you. That's very important. Again, stay to the far left. These guys kind of hang to the middle until quite late. And then I can go down here and catch a bit more draft. Drafting into Parabolica, that is dangerous. And I've got enough of a lead that he's not going to be able to draft, but I can catch draft. And I love drafting. I'm actually really looking forward to the NASCAR event coming up, because one of the thrills of Daytona is getting hooked up in the draft, especially if you've got a car in front of you and behind you that can do a similar speed. You can go over the posted top speed of your car, and so that can be kind of fun. But of course, that's later on. That's not what's going on right now. Even here, you can get beyond the top speed of your car. Oopsie. I'm sorry, I didn't necessarily mean to do the pit maneuver on that guy. And the way I did that pit maneuver definitely damaged my car a little bit. In these cars, you don't lose much top speed. Might not lose any, but I definitely noticed that my grip falls off and my brakes fall off from contact like that. But that's not going to matter here. Whoa. Okay, I take it back. That definitely mattered. Wow. Okay, well now I've got to make sure that he doesn't get a draft off me. So there you go. That's what can happen when you're driving a damaged car, in-race damage. That was me not having enough grip to take that section. Now I only have to finish in 3rd place, but I'm going to win this race. It's not going to be difficult. If I was really worried, I would take a huge cut right here. I'm not worried. So I'm just going to use the proper braking point. And you can see, he's substantially over-braking. No way I should have been catching Hamilton at that point. In a car like this, when he's in a Mercedes, because he had about 175, 180 lead on me heading into that chicane. And even here, yeah, look at that. I'm not even driving that very aggressively. No trouble. And here, the race is not ending early. Got to drive it out. So let's just see here how much of a lead. Very short braking point. Ooh, I actually went up just a skosh off track there. Again, you only need to have one tire on track in this game for it to count as on track. And if you want to drive all 4 tires on the inside of the white lines, that's perfectly fine, but you're going to be giving up piles of time and a lot of gold in time trial competitions. So just consider that. You could be earning more if you actually push the limits further. And they do that in real racing all the time. Those guys push the limits as far as they can all the time. In fact, if they don't, they're going to get fired. Because if you're not going to push the limits, you're going to get beaten. So, gotta push those limits, gotta be on the razor edge. All right. Plowing along here so far. Nice event. Okay. And need to buy a little bit. Just need to buy 1, actually. So at this point, now I'm going to be equal to everyone else. Other people would have to buy more tuning, but again, I already have driver level 3, principal level 9. I'm not sure that I'm going to spend any more gold. It's, let's see, 774 gold to max out your driver so that you can enter the Invitational Series. And I don't know that I want to do that for that many cars. I've already done that for my McLaren, and I think I'll only do that for 1 more car. I'll choose a car that has higher grip and just a different setup than the McLaren. That way I'm covered for all future time trial competitions, but I just don't know that I want to spend that much gold for what I get back. Nothing wrong with doing that if you want to, but we'll see. Whoopsie. I definitely want to have a maxed out Monza tuning at some point, though. So that I'll probably still do. Anyhow, so you got to pass 10 bots before you get your tires heated up. Now, I thought of doing a bunch of aggressive off-track cutting, but when tires are warming up, the more you skid, the faster they warm up. And so it's possible, it's a lot easier to lose traction when you're off track. Now I got to substantially slow down for Parabolica. The tires aren't heating up very fast, not as fast as they do normally in this type of an event. So I'm going to take it easy. Looking at these tires. Okay, I'm going to have to brake early here. But I still wanted to get that overtake. And just be careful. Ooh, yeah, it's a little bit slick still. So I didn't want to take a bunch of off-track cuts and risk getting my tires heated up even quicker, because there's going to be some sliding while you're off-track, but it's an option. I didn't really test it. Maybe I could have passed 10 cars before my tires heated up, even though I was going off-track. But anyways, this is what I'm committing myself to. I don't know if the race will end early or if it's still going to go all the way. Oh well. Already passing my 7th car here. 36%. I'm still going to have to be careful. I better get on those brakes. Yeah, I should have got on those brakes earlier. Oh well. I was heading into there after I got some draft, and so I went in there faster than I normally would have. Yeah, still going to have to take it easy at Parabolica. Oh boy, oh I hate that. That is the worst place. I'm just not happy with him overtaking me. So yeah, I might have damaged my car a little bit, but I don't really care. Still have 2 full laps, only have 3 more cars to pass, but I definitely gave up some right there. So you definitely, this one's a little more challenging. Not hard, but there we go. There's the 8th car I need to pass. And as we're seeing in this event, it does not matter if you pass the same car multiple times. That doesn't register multiple passes. It did in a lot of prior versions of these types of challenges. Sometimes you could pass the same car 10 times and then that would be it. But not now. And they're being a little more careful with the wording of these stages to reflect that. Now it's acting a little bit more like normal tires. At this point, I don't have to be too careful. As you get to 60%, it starts to feel normal, but still, let's see here. Oops, that was off track again. I'm getting too aggressive. Don't want to be wasting all of my time by doing that, because I lost some of my momentum. And Monza's all about momentum. You need to keep your momentum at Monza. All right. 2 more to go after this. I wish I could already be getting a tow from him now, but yeah, looks like we're pretty evenly matched, but they're going to be, bots are horrible in the corners. Even when you have bots that are really fast on the straight sections, the corners is where they're bad. But because we're equally matched, I should be able to get a really nice tow down here. You can tell when you're hitting the bot a bit because they start trying to lose you. And I like trying to keep the draft. And maybe I'll shove him into the corner a bit. Oh boy, did he ever get on the brakes early. Now that was a legal chicane section. I mean, I would not have been penalized if this was a no off-track section. Oh, there we go, last guy. And the race ends. So, if you want to get super aggressive, take off-track cuts, my tires were only at 78%. You could probably finish that race a lot sooner. That wraps up this stage. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Here's a playlist link, and I'm going to be putting up stage 3 very soon.